let's have a quick recap.
Yep.
So, last episode we talked around funding and what events needs to be attended. So, quick summaries, how you can approach, how funding is important to you, whether going in bootstrap is an approach for you, how to approach VCs, how to reach out their network. Then we little bit talked around what events you need to attend once you need to diversify on the marketing side and get more insights from investors and other people. So we looked at GitX Select USA, NVIDIA AI Summit, GCC Summit.
Yep.
So our main area of focus today is about how to launch a product. So, and the best example is to see the Sparrow launch with Career Format.
Hi everyone. So this is Gaurav, co-founder at Techdome.
Hi, this is Rahul, co-founder at Techdome.
Yeah. So last episode we discussed related to funding and as well as networking on how that can help you in creating a successful product. This particular podcast we are going to talk about how we can launch a product.
Yeah.
And we had a recent experience launching our own product, so that's going to be one of the benchmark how we are going to move forward and discuss that part.
Yeah.
So let's get started.
Yep. So today we are going to see you have created your idea, you have got the fundings, you have reached out to investors, you have attended the events, you have broadcasted your product. Now, how actually you can launch it, right?
Yeah.
So before talking about how to launch Sparrow, we'll just brief around Sparrow, what Sparrow is. So Gaurav, you want to take a moment to introduce around?
So both I and Rahul both are developers at core, right? So that's how we started our journey in professional world, and that's how we met as well. So while we were working on multiple development platforms and multiple applications, front end, back end, everything, and we have had around since last 12 years together. So we realized that there is a gap in API testing tools. There are very good players, and those have actually helped us a lot. No second thought about it, but on the other side they have actually some limitations which we thought can be improved on. So we wanted to create a product for developers by the developers, and we wanted to make it as an open source product. This is and even an AI powered product. We have seen this that a product, if you're using a right tool when you're developing or whatever field you are in, it automatically makes you a better professional, right? And this is what our expectation and objective is with the REST API tool. So it's your API sidekick. It helps you in developing your APIs better and ensuring you're able to test every single thing in the best way possible.
Yep. And just to give you a brief highlight on what Sparrow means to me, around what my experience has been and how we have ideated around. A good developer is always a lazy developer, right? So whatever good tools you are giving to a developer, they want that, right?
Yeah.
And as a person, if I've been core heart as a backend developer, once I'm developing an API, there are many scenarios which can optimize, which could have been optimized if someone could
Yep.
have told me better, and it has evolved over time.
Yeah.
So what special thing we have done in Sparrow is how its AI is powered is by our insights, by a lot of more developers insight on how you need to evolve your API, right? If I'm writing a set of statements, if it can be optimized it to a more set of statements, till that level we want to make Sparrow reach, right?
Yep.
So how you are writing your API, how you are distributing your API, how someone is consuming those APIs. So all the things, every data is there, right? But a right medium to send that data is pretty much important. And
Yes.
how you can share it, and if someone can tell me at first moment, right, how anyone who is starting from college writing to code, if someone can guide them at the start rather than a person, they look for seniors to guide them. If a tool can guide them, that is something what we want to provide them.
Yeah.
So it's a API sidekick plus it's a mentor for you.
Right.
So going forward in Sparrow, it's open source. You can download, you can check around it. But that is our vision with Sparrow. So every person who is giving 1 minute of his time developing something and testing, we want to reduce that time and give them the best possible efficiency possible.
Yeah.
Right.
And the core foundation of Sparrow is collaboration.
Yes.
That is one of the place where we felt there are so many tools which are missing out.
Correct.
So you can create your teams over there, collaborate in the best way possible, and the next features are going to be life changing for developers.
Definitely.
So we are working on that part.
Yeah. So I think let's talk around how we did the successful MVP launch. And just to give you a brief, we were fourth in Product Hunt for the product launch. So Gaurav, yeah, we need your brainer around it, that how we planned it, how we executed.
Yeah, so I think creating a product is just 20% of the whole journey. After you create it, if you don't have actual users, it's of no use. And to get to your actual users, it is a hard job, right? You need to go to the market, you need to talk to so many people and get to it, and you need to identify right platforms which can help you, because not everybody, and in fact, if you are creating a startup yourself, you might not be having that much budget to actually spend so much on advertisement, on exhibitions and other things. So you need some lean methods to actually launch it and to get to the first customers.
Correct.
And that is where we identified Product Hunt. Product Hunt is an amazing platform. Once I got used to it, there's not even a single day when I don't open it. There's so many amazing products which are getting launched on a daily basis over there. And the way how we treat every single product with the same kind of it gives equal opportunity to every product. So for example, when you launch a product on Product Hunt, for the first 4 hours, it does not show any upvotes on any of the product, and it randomly shows the list to the actual user, so that there is an equal opportunity and probability that the user will see each and every product and they can upvote it. So the algorithm is pretty good. Nobody can sign up on that day itself and can upvote, because to avoid any random things like that. So all these algorithms are there to ensure that there are not messed up launches and like that. So we identified that as a platform to launch our MVP and to give it to the most users as possible and try to see like what their feedback is. And it is not just about launch. The feedback that we got on Product Hunt from so many people in comment section, and in fact the ones who use the application and approached us on other things like LinkedIn and Discord and other places, all of us like tremendous. It was very helpful for us.
Definitely. So I think Product Hunt is one platform which I think every one of us love when we see that. But do you recommend any other platforms as well which we explored around, or just want to give highlights before choosing Product Hunt? What are
So similar to Product Hunt, there is one which is Dev Hunt, which is just for developer tool. It is an important platform as well, where we want to launch. But right now we thought of the first launching on Product Hunt. In Dev Hunt, they have weekly cycle. In Product Hunt, they have daily cycle. So that's one of them. And if we talk about offline sources, there are like all these events that we talked about in the last episode. All these events have a pitch session. There are open pitches as well. Those are some places where you can go ahead and like launch as well.
Yeah. So I think that's the power of a successful
Yep.
launch. But how do you think a launch is? So Product Hunt was one medium where we launched the product. But how do you have a feel around everyone who was launching? So just can you give us a brief around?
So see, when you are trying to create a product, you never know when it is ready for launch. And when you don't know when you have to launch it, you launch it today, right? You don't have to wait too long for launching it. Everyone who is a product expert, who has successful launches and who have run a successful startup, they say that launch early as soon as possible. So we were struggling with this thing. We had a real structure struggle in understanding when do we want to launch it. We thought that let's have only two functionalities, but have them as complete functionalities. There should not be any broken flows in the experience of the user when they're using Sparrow, but those needs to be complete functionality, and we don't want 5 functionalities when we are launching. So that's how that's what our focus is, and that's how we thought that let's launch it right away. We it took us 1 or 2 or 3 weeks of timeline to actually fine tune everything on those functionalities that we are talking about. We created a work back schedule, so we gave a the we identified and highlighted one deadline that everyone is comfortable when, that this is the date that we are going to launch, and then we started working back to it, that if we want to launch on, let's say, 12th, so by 8 this should be done, by 7 this should be complete, by 6 this should be complete. So working back helped us in like achieving it. We still missed it by a day, but still it was a good experience, and that's how we were able to get to the launch.
Correct. So what are the key elements of successful launch? So one is planning, which you broken down.
Right.
Complete team was planned, complete team was aligned. And how many launches we can do for a product? Like
So in Product Hunt, they always say that you can always launch multiple times, but they recommend that you launch once every 4 to 5 or 6 months. They say that you should launch once you have like a change, a really demanding feature or revolutionary feature,
got
and that's how you should focus on that, and then you can launch it.
Got
So for us as well, it was the second launch. So first launch we did, it was like hunted,
it.
and then we did a proper launch this time. And yeah, obviously, as soon as we do more features, we'll do the launching. So as soon as you have like a revolutionary feature that you're launching, something extraordinary, something
Hmm.
new which is not seen in the product at all. So that is when you launch again.
Yeah.
So that helps in keeping up the track on it.
So if I just summarize it well, so if you're planning for new launches on our product, a quarterly time is a good time.
Quarterly is a very good time. I
Yeah.
think if you have a very efficient sprint planning and team,
Mhm.
like we do, we are fortunate to have that. So every 2 weeks, you can see the product is evolving every 2 weeks with every sprint closure.
Hmm.
So 3 months, it's like it's a good enough amount of time
Got it.
to host and get new features
Got
uploaded.
it. So as you are scaling your product, you need to keep your user updated with those things.
Yes, yes, yes. That's a
So
different part. We'll cover more on it in the next episode
yeah.
on marketing.
So so it's like 3 months updates what we are planning to do, or update for users is every 2 weeks, and you do a holistic launch in a 3 months.
Yeah, so I think the application need to keep evolving
Hmm.
every 2 weeks.
Okay.
That is a good amount of time for a user, and that keeps the user engaged as well. And it's very important that they are able to discover something has changed. So
Got
I'm talking about another developer tool, which is Visual Studio Code.
it. Mhm.
So whenever they do a launch, there's a new tab that launches automatically and gives you idea that these are the new
Correct.
things that have
Updates.
came up.
Yeah.
So for users, it's 2 weeks, but yeah, quarterly, like 3 to 4 months is a good time.
Mm.
When you have a big launch, at that time you can like utilize a platform like Product
Yeah.
Hunt.
So I think we got an idea around how to launch, when to launch, what are the key elements, how frequent you launch, what are the post-launch activities, right?
So when you launch in Product Hunt, you get a lot of traction.
Mm.
When you get that traction, it can get lost very easily and
Yeah.
very fast. As soon as it came, it can get loose at the same cadence as well. So it is very easy to lose customers as
Mm.
you get them as well. So keeping them engaged is very important. You need to ensure that there are emails and other things how you reach to them.
Mm.
And product and launch is actually very important in the sense of it helps you in getting feedback, core feedback about the feature. Like when we are talking about launching, when should we launch?
Mm.
As soon as you launch it, and you should launch it as early as possible.
Correct.
And when you launch it, you get actual feedback from the
Mm.
customers. It could be positive, it could be negative, but that is completely fine. That helps you in like refining the product more. And in 3 to 4 months time period, again when you are ready to launch, at that time those things will be already solved, right? And
Yeah.
it will give you an advantage on this thing. And market is very big,
Correct.
right? So if like 100 people or 200 people or 500 people tried it out on the first day, then next time when you're trying it again and you're launching on Product Hunt,
Mm.
most probably the 500 people that you're going to get at that time are going to be totally different,
Correct.
right? So if they had a bad experience initially, they're not going to stick around. And if they had a good experience, they're going to support you again on the product and launch.
Got it. Got it. No, that totally makes sense. And this is around it. I think we'll cover up in next chapters. But how impressed were you to get even on the comments investors or early buying opportunities for it?
Yeah, in fact,
Yeah.
that was one thing that we didn't realize and we didn't even expect it.
Mm-hmm.
That there were people who approached us on LinkedIn because they liked the product so much they wanted to buy it.
Mm.
They were like, if you are open for acquisition, let's talk about it.
Mm.
So there are opportunities like that also that you get over there. So it's a good thing if you are creating an MVP, you don't have a lot of budget, lot of runway, launch it as soon as possible
Correct.
and try to get as many upvotes there so that like you can get attract other potential investors.
Correct. And one core thing around this launches is that if you're launching your product, and always couple of times the byproducts are one of the good products, right?
Right.
So if you want to launch, or if you want to scale your product, and if you are into the funding budgets, launch those products on platforms like Product Hunt. So
Correct.
even you can get investors or acquisitions which can help you out in your main product stack.
Correct. So for example, Notion, everybody knows
Correct.
Notion, right? So if they launch a new feature, let's say Notion Calendar
Mhm.
or Notion Mail, which is
Mhm.
just launched a few weeks ago. So they launch it as a new product on Product Hunt.
Okay.
Right. So it helps a little bit on like getting traction according to new features that they have introduced there.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
And how, from a growth or scaling perspective, is a good approach for the launches? Like any user incrementation you have seen, or any next steps, or any positive feedback which help you in that?
So, the number of users actually jumped by mostly like it was around a jump of 100x
Mhm.
when we launched on product Hunt. So, in terms of retention of those things, I think if we got 100 users, we are still retaining like 10 or 20 of them. So it was a good experience launching on on product Hunt, and it got us some really good customers who are still using it. We can see our analytics; they're using it daily. Who got attached to the product at that time.
Correct, correct. And how would you think as a Techdome journey it has helped us overall?
Yeah, I think we were late. We should have launched much earlier before, because after launching, it helped us a lot, because it was one way to like connect with everyone, right?
Mm.
So we were asking everyone for checking out the product. Well, by the way, Product Hunt has a policy that you cannot ask people to upvote the product.
Mm.
You should not ask to upvote. They say that you can ask people to check out your product
Mhm.
that you are launching today. But saying this thing on social media that please support, it is not a good strategy, and I
Yeah.
think it's ethical as well. So we did something similar, that we tried to ask everyone around to like check out a product on product and that's launching there, and it gave everyone a little confidence that we are
Correct.
going in the right direction and we are moving forward, and it helped us in like getting more business as well at a lot
Correct.
of places.
Correct.
So yeah, and network is your net worth, so
Correct.
it's important that you leverage that.
Definitely. So yeah, I think as a whole, Sparrow's launch, how it has helped our as a team is like we got a process end to end satisfied, like how you ideate a product, how you launch it, and that we are using for multiple products.
Correct.
So it prepares a blueprint on how to do that, and as soon as we're launching into the next quarter for Sparrow or any other product what we are planning out, so that would give us a more edge around how to collaborate with those people, and it gives a continuous engagement as well. So
Right.
building your network is one thing, preparing a blueprint for next launches of the products or other products, it gives us an edge for Techdome as a whole.
Right.
Yeah, so I think we would like to conclude this series, and we would be sharing the links on how we launch on Product Hunt. We would be sharing those details and a bit of traction around other links, other platform as well if you're launching a particular set of products, and interesting websites if you want to sell your products as well. So we would be sharing this as part of the
Yep.
episode.
So keep following Product Hunt if you want to launch today or any day in the future, right? That will give you a lot of idea on what kind of marketing material that you will require.
Yeah.
And you'll need to have your own network who are already using Product Hunt, because if you don't know anybody who can help there, then that would be a challenge. But yeah, be aware that as soon as you are going to launch, there are going to so many people who are going to message you that, hey, we can help you with the launch, and they are going to ask for a paid promotion there. Yeah, those guys are not needed, trust me, because that like can raise to more negative outcomes, like people can flag your product and all that part. So make sure that you do it in the ethical format, create a good community out of it. There are people across who will help you in getting the right customers. So, and launch as soon as possible. If you have not launched yet, focus on launching it as soon as possible with minimal number of features. You don't require a lot of things. It will get you the first feedback, and if your product is not in the hands of the customers and you are just using some assumptions to build it, it's not going to work. So you should definitely make sure that you're able to get feedback as early as possible.
Definitely.
Yep.
So yeah, I think this is all about this episode. Next product we'll be talking around marketing, how to market your product and take ahead to the market.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.